Hey everybody, so I'm just going to do a quick stock market overview for today. Now, the markets definitely don't look good, and if you've been following me, you know that I've been more on the bearish side. But with the recent technicals, I said, just based on technicals, it looks like we're kind of getting slightly bullish here, and then now we're kind of seeing some more bearish price activity. So looking at SPY, we're just going to look at the volume, 89.77. So it's definitely been picking up, if we just look at the last few days, we see that volume profile has been picking up compared to where we were when we were rallying right here. So we were rallying on pretty low volume, as you can see right here. And then once the selling stepped in, much higher volume. So when we look at 439.92, what significance does that have? We're going to look at the 50-day right now. So it's actually slightly above the 50-day. So that's okay, I guess. But I was kind of predicting that it would fall to around 440 today, just because the key level that I was looking at is this right here. So if I'm looking right here, you can kind of see this touch right there and that touch right there. And then once we broke this level, we had this massive rally right there. So look at where we are right now. We're basically right back to this area right here. Now, we're wedged between the 50-day and the 200-day. So what happens if we break this level? Well, if we break this level, I think what's going to happen is we get right down to this area, which is this little gap right there. So if we're looking right there, this is going to be about 433 or 434, like right around 434. And then if we break underneath this area at 434, well, I think we're coming all the way back down to 427, which what I'm paying attention to is the top of this massive green bar. If we break below 427, well, I think essentially this entire area, all the way down to 410, is free game because we're just going to zoom out. There's not a whole lot of support. So when we zoom out, if we break underneath this 427 level, not a whole lot of strong support underneath that. So just keep that in mind. So as of now, I can't really say if this is still very bearish or not. This could just be we cool down here, maybe we level off, or maybe we go sideways and then we continue back up. Or maybe we just chop around for a little bit in this area. Who knows? But thus far, I'd still say with this massive move, we're still doing okay. I mean, look at where we were a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, or like basically a month ago, we are all the way down here at around 414, 410. Now we're all the way at 440, and we went all the way up here to 460 plus. So we're just giving back some of these gains thus far. And we'll know when it gets worse. I mean, I think it'll definitely get worse if we break this 430, 434 area, because that's going to land us back into correction territory. Correction territory for SPY will be like 430, so that would be around 10% from the top. So that's SPY for you. Let's look at QQQ now. With Nasdaq, I wouldn't be too bearish. I would just be very cautious about being bearish on Nasdaq right now, and I'll tell you exactly why. So let's just zoom in. We have one massive gap right here. I mean, just look at this. We literally fell. We knifed underneath the 50-day. Now we left this huge gap here, an $8 gap. So we have an $8 gap here. And we have another massive gap right here. This is all the way at like 360. What's this right here? Yeah, that's like 360. And then that's 3. So we have like a $3 gap here, and we have another pretty massive gap right here, like an $8 gap. So yeah, $3 gap, $8 gap. So don't be too bearish on QQQ. I do think it's likely that some point in the future we come back, we fill this gap, and then we potentially fill this gap as well. So do watch out for that. Don't be shorting at these levels. And look where we are right now. So look at the top of this massive green bar. And look at where we are now. I mean, no coincidence. This is acting as support right here. So 340, I would say that this is a support area. If we lose 340, that's going to start looking really bad. If we lose 340, well, could come all the way back down. Everything between here and here is free game. So let me just zoom out. There's not a whole lot of support. So we lose this area. I mean, everything between here and here is free game. So that's for you. And let's look at Apple. So Apple hasn't really left that many gaps in the chart. So it's nothing like QQQ. So if I'm just looking at Apple, I think it wants to fall down to this area. Apple at 162.81. Now maybe at Apple 162.81, I might want to go and buy something like Microsoft or something like QQQ, and then just hope for that gap fill back up. And then I think that's going to happen when Apple hits 162.81 right here. And why is this significant? Well, look right here. This is the top of that massive green bar right here. So Apple's going to find some support in this area, in my opinion, right around, well, I guess that's 163. So yeah, right around 163, where all the gaps are coming from, Microsoft. Now, I don't really know what's going on with the news on Microsoft. Is there any massive news? Let's see. I mean, I'm not really seeing anything here. So with Microsoft, notice here there's this downtrend channel. We are almost at the top of this downtrend channel. And just look at price action recently. So right here in April, at the start of April, to where we are now, we basically fell $30. So that's a pretty significant drop right here. And notice we left gaps in the chart. So if we're just looking at this gap right here, what is that? It's 293 and it's 296. So we got like a $3 gap here. And we've got another smaller gap right here. 307. It's about 310. So another $3 gap, a $3 gap here and a $3 gap there. So something to pay attention to. I mean, it's very likely that we could go right back up and fill this gap at 296. So that would be like a $12 move right there. So don't be too bearish. I do think Microsoft can come down a little bit more, maybe down to like 283. And maybe that's synonymous with Apple right here at 163. And then maybe once it hits those levels, we have a rebound rally. And then we see Microsoft fill that gap. So that's just a scenario and just an opinion. I'm throwing that out there. May or may not happen. Who knows? But I think that there is a pretty good likelihood that it does. Now we're going to look at Google. Google has something similar going on where it has this downtrend channel, and now we have these this knife action, literally just knifed right through the 50-day, and now we're approaching the bottom of this channel. Now, if we knife through this channel, or the top trend of this channel, what I think could happen is that we just go right back down to 2,494 and we make a triple bottom. So I think that's very likely if we break underneath this area right here. But I mean, just looking at price action, we've fallen quite a bit in the last few days here. So in the last 2 weeks, we fell a significant amount. I mean, what is that? It's about $300. So yeah, I do think that there is room for a rebound rally. And you can see that we kind of left a small gap here. I mean, it's not a big one. Yeah, it's about like a $13 gap. Maybe it gets filled, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But that's the overview for today, and I hope you guys found this helpful.